Good afternoon, and welcome to another Virtualize Everything presentation. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to install Media CMS on your Proxmox server inside of a container. Media CMS, simply stated by their description on GitHub, is a modern, full-featured, open-source video and media CMS. It was developed to meet the needs of modern web platforms for viewing and sharing media. And it's a pretty interesting YouTube-like clone that may meet some of your needs inside of your self-hosted lab. A lot of us are data collectors and we hoard all of the data downloading videos and storing stuff, and we want an easy way to play it back. If you're like me, Media CMS might be the right tool for you. So let's get to the video presentation about how to install Media CMS inside of a Proxmox container. Okay, so the first thing we're going to need to do to start installing Media CMS inside of a Proxmox container is access our Proxmox web interface. And we're going to be using Proxmox 9 today in the tutorial. So once we get our Proxmox web interface access, just like you can see here, we need to start out by getting ourselves a container image if we don't already have one. To download a container image, I want you to select your host system drive, which in most scenarios is called local. Mine here is indeed called local today, so let's go ahead and click on it. And if it doesn't automatically come up, let's go ahead and also select ISO images. Now you can see I have a few images here, and if it doesn't automatically come up, let's go ahead and click CT templates. And you can see that I already have the templates here that we're going to be using, which is the Ubuntu 24.04. But if I didn't have this template, I'd select templates, I'd enter Ubuntu, and then I'd be presented with a few different templates to choose from, including 25.04, which is the newest one out. I'm going to stick to 24.04 because it's the latest LTS version of Ubuntu. Then I'd select that and I'd press download. I won't be downloading this today as I already have it on my system. Once it's downloaded and you see task OK, you can exit the screen and you'll return back to this one, and you should be presented with a template of Ubuntu 24.04 standard, just as you see here, selected by me. Now we're ready to start creating our container. To do so, let's go up here to the upper right hand corner of our screen and select Create CT. Then we can give it a name. We're going to be calling mine video here today, but feel free to name yours as you so choose fit. Then we're going to enter a password, and if we don't have this feature of tags, you can go here and click Advanced and it'll show up. I don't believe any of the settings that we'll be configuring today are inside of Advanced, but I like to keep mine checked just in case later on down the road we need them. Tags here, as you see, can be these pretty little things that you can see added here later on. They're useful for organizing, storing, and keeping notes about containers and VMs inside of your system. Moving on to templates, we can go ahead and select our Ubuntu 24.04 template, and pressing next, let's make sure this has enough storage. Let's give ours 100 gigs here today. After all, keeping videos stored and transcoding them in multiple different formats takes up quite a bit of space. Pressing next, we can select CPU. We want a minimum of 2 CPU cores. And pressing next, we want between 2 to 4 gigs of RAM. So let's enter 4096 so we make sure that we have the full 4 gigs. Obviously, you can give this more if you so desire. Then we want to go ahead and select our network options. Now, the default bridge for our system is VMBR0, and if you only have VMBR0, you're good to continue with this tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and select a different bridge that matches my network a little bit better. And then we're going to go here, and since this is a server, we want to select static, and we're going to give it an IP address inside of our network schema, which mine is going to be 192.168.11. And I think I'm going to give mine 111. And then we need to give it a CIDR notation as my network's broken up into class C networks running from 0 to 255, with of course 0 being taken and 255 being taken. I'm going to enter 24. Then for my gateway, we're going to enter 192.168.11 and 1. Your network might vary. Your gateway might be 2 254. It's very common that I see that, or something else depending on what you set. When you're setting these settings, make sure you're setting the correct settings for your network. Now pressing next, we're going to choose to use the host DNS and DNS server settings, and then pressing next, we're asked to look through and confirm everything. Then we can hit finish, and our Proxmox system's going to go ahead and create our container template for us. Now once we get task OK, we can go ahead and close the window. We can select our downloaded template, and we can press start. Pressing start, we can then go ahead and go to console, and when our container fires up, we can go ahead and log in. Now that we're at the login screen, we can use the login of root and the password we set up during the installation. And then let's first do an apt update, and then you can see that we have 164 packages to install, so let's do an apt upgrade -y and install those packages. Okay, so the next step, now that we got our container fully updated, is to go ahead and install Git, and we're just going to do that with an apt install git -y. Now let's go ahead and make a directory so that we can install Media CMS in it, or at least download Media CMS to it. So we'll use the command mkdir, and we're going to make the MediaCMS.io directory inside of our home directory. And then of course, to work with that directory, we want to go ahead and change our directory. We'll do so with cd, and we'll also enter the path of that directory. So now that we're inside of it, let's just run an ls, and we see there's nothing there. So we're going to use git to clone in everything from the GitHub repository for Media CMS. So I use git and then clone, and then I enter the address at GitHub for where Media CMS.io is installed, and let's hit enter. Now we've gotten our clone, we can go ahead and ls, and we can see that we now have a Media CMS folder inside of our Media CMS.io folder, and we can go ahead and execute their really handy install script. Now generally this channel doesn't use scripts, and generally I don't condone the use of scripts for installation, but this is the installation script, and this is the suggested way for installing this, meaning it's not a third-party script. It is a script created by the vendor, and it's the intended use for the script. So we're going to go ahead and do so and use that script. So basically what we're going to do is once again change our directory to be inside of that newly created Media CMS folder, and then we're going to use 2 ampersands to string in a bash for running the /install sh script. So let's go ahead and press enter, and this script of course is going to run in bash because we told it the .sh script was written in bash. So the first thing it asks us to do after we start the install.sh script is to make sure that we're running Ubuntu 22 or Ubuntu 24, and we can do so by hitting yes, and it's going to go ahead and update our repositories and start the installation of this software. Now of course it's updating repositories, so it's going to bring in dependency softwares first as part of the script. Now at this point it's going to ask us to enter the URL that we want to communicate with this server, or we can press enter for localhost. Since this server isn't going to be hosted inside of our system where we communicate with it, it's going to be on Proxmox. We can't use localhost, but what we can use is the IP address of the server. So let's go ahead and enter that IP address, and then we can press enter. Now it wants to enter the host name of our system, and we can go ahead and use Media CMS. So this time we can press enter. All right, the installation of Media CMS has completed, and we're given this line right here, which basically tells us to open our web browser and browse to the link that's given here. So we can go ahead and copy this, open ourselves a new tab, and paste this into the URL bar, which when we do so gives us this page here. Now right now we're not logged in, so let's go ahead and start by signing in, and the first thing we're going to do is enter admin, which is the login. Then heading back to the screen here, it tells us to log in with the username admin and the password that it automatically generates. Now this password is automatically generated, so we want to once again go ahead and copy it. Then we're going to go to the password window and we're going to paste it. Then we're going to hit log. Now that we're logged in, let's go ahead and deal with the obvious security issue. And let's click on this little man here and go change password. It asks you to enter your current password and then a new password and the new password again. Then we can hit change password. And just to make sure everything's set up correctly, let's go up to the man, go to sign out and press sign out. Then we'll go ahead and sign in. Again, enter the login of admin and this time enter the new password. And it appears that we're logged in and we're able to start using this software. Now, the first thing I want to show you how to do inside of this software, and I haven't spent a lot of time familiarizing myself with it, but let's take a look at how to get media uploaded to this and then what it looks like if you try to play it. So I have a few video clips on my system that were filmed during the filming of this particular video, and let's go ahead and upload one of them. So we'll click upload and then browse your files, and here on screen we can go ahead and select one of these video files that I've created during the installation of Media CMS for this video presentation. So selecting that video, we can hit open and it goes ahead and uploads. It's a really small video. Looking back at Proxmox, if we go to summary, you can see that we have pretty high CPU usage. What this is going to do is at this point, it's going to transcode, and we're using CPU transcoding here. Now, I have seen from some Reddit posts that Media CMS can be configured to use FFmpeg, I believe it is, or MGE, something like that. And during the compile process, you can change the setting so that you can use a GPU. Now, obviously, this isn't part of the default installation or the default installation script, so we're not going to cover this in this tutorial, but if that's something you would like, there is apparently an option to do so. Now, out of the box, especially inside a container where there is no GPU, we are going to use the CPU, and you will momentarily see high CPU usage. It's something that you should be aware of when using Media CMS. Heading back to the Media CMS web interface, you can hit home and you can see that your video has appeared, and it shows both in recommended because it's the only video and in latest. Now, as you build up a media log and everything else, your recommended videos may be different than your latest videos, just like YouTube. Now, I'm not entirely sure where the algorithm goes for creating the recommended, but it's probably something on view count or as such. You also have some features where you can add tags and different things here. As we're new to this, we don't have any of that configured. You can look at your media. This is as the admin. You can change your banner page, so you can basically create like pages similar to channels on YouTube. You can fill in some contact information, terms of service, and this gives you a little bit about. I'm just kind of flipping through screen. We do have a choice for a dark mode, which does really help our eyes. You can also look at liked media. So if we were to go home, we were to play this, and we were to like it, we would see under liked media our like video. We can also see under history that we did indeed view this video, and we can create playlists just like YouTube. So I hope you enjoyed this video of getting your very own YouTube clone self-hosted and up and running inside of your Proxmox server, and you find plenty of uses for it inside of your home lab, like especially if you're a data hoarder like me and like to keep vast video collections downloaded on your system so you have them at a later date. I hope you enjoyed this video presentation from Virtualize Everything, and you consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to help Virtualize Everything provide more content for you about your home lab. As always, have a good night.